It's quite a big year for South Korean flag carrier Korean Air. Not only has the airline placed some major orders with both Airbus and Boeing, but it's close to the finish line in terms of acquiring all the necessary approvals for its pending merger with Star Alliance member Asiana. With close to 160 aircraft in the fleet at the time of this video's production, let's examine Korean Air, the types that it operates, the major orders it has placed, and the latest regarding its Asiana merger. At a glance, the Korean Air fleet consists of the following aircraft. From Airbus, the carrier has 10 A220-300s, 11 A321neos with more on the way, 2 A330-200s, 20 A330-300s, and 9 A380s. For the Boeing 737 family, the airline has 1-700, 2-800s, 9-900s, 6-900ERs, and 5 MAX 8s with more on the way. The -700, while technically part of the Korean fleet, is a VIP configured aircraft. One of the few remaining 747 operators in the world, the airline is listed as having 4-400 freighters in the fleet, obviously flying for Korean Air cargo. There are also 15 747-8s. This divides into 7 freighters and 8 of the passenger variant 747-8i. Moving along with the list of Boeing jets, the carrier has 49 777s, 8-200s, 4-300s, 25-300ERs, and flying for its cargo division are 12 777 freighters. And then for the 787 family, there are 13 -9s and 1-10 with more on the way. The carrier is also listed as having a -8 with a VIP configuration. As you can see, the carrier has an incredibly diverse fleet of aircraft, from the small A220-300 right up to the A380. The oldest type in the fleet is the non-ER Boeing 777-300, which is a little over 25 years on average. With average ages of around 20 years, 777-200s, A330-300s, and non-ER 737-900s. Looking to modernize its fleet, the airline has placed some major orders this year. In March, the airline announced it would sign a contract with Airbus for A350s. The deal is valued at $13.7 billion and will include 33 aircraft, 27-1000s, and 6 of the smaller A350-900s. As noted in an official statement, the order will supplement the airline's long-term fleet operations as it gradually retires its older aircraft. The procurement of the next-generation eco-friendly A350 is not only aligned with the airline's sustainability efforts, but also is seen as preparation for the integration of Asiana Airlines. Most recently, at the Farnborough Air Show, Korean Air purchased 20 Boeing 777X aircraft, as well as up to 30 787-10s. This is split between 20 firm orders and 10 options. The carrier's CEO, Walter Cho, remarked that the 777X would compete against the Airbus A350-1000 to become the airline's flagship aircraft, adding that the title would go to whichever aircraft would arrive first. It was shared that Boeing should begin deliveries of the 777X to the airline in 2028. On their way out, far earlier than most would have expected, are some of the airline's 747-8 passenger aircraft. As we reported in early May, Korean Air signed a deal with Nevada-based defense contractor Sierra Nevada Corp, or SNC, over the sale of 5 Boeing 747-8s. With SNC being awarded a $13 billion contract to develop the next Survivable Airborne Operations Center, or SAOC, or Doomsday Plane for the United States Air Force, it needs airframes to modify. Clearly, it found a willing seller in Korean Air. As per a Reuters report, the Korean carrier will sell off the 5-8s for a total of $674 million, amounting to around $135 million per airframe. The sale is expected to be completed by September 2025 and will leave the carrier with just 4 747-8 passenger aircraft as it continues its fleet modernization efforts. In an SEC filing, Korean Air said the move aligned with its long-term strategy to divest older aircraft in favor of next-generation jets. Examining data from planespotters.net, it appears that one 7478, registered Hotel Lima 7630, has already left the fleet for Sierra Nevada Corp. As noted earlier, these ex-Korean Air jumbo jets will eventually replace the USAF's Boeing E-4B Advanced Airborne Command Post aircraft. The current jets are modified Boeing 747-200Bs. With Boeing dropping its interest in this project last year, SNC was the last bidder standing. It's expected to complete works by 2036, with the Air Force making an immediate $59 million contribution to begin development and testing. Finally, let's examine the latest with Korean Air's takeover of Asiana. This deal has been years in the making. Indeed, it was back in late 2020 that Korean Air said it planned to spend 1.8 trillion won, or $1.37 billion, to become the majority shareholder of indebted Asiana. The deal needs to gain approval from the various authorities where Korean Air operates, with most regulators concerned about fair competition and the risk of creating monopolies. In February, Japan's competition regulator granted approval for the merger to go ahead. The competition watchdog highlighted 7 routes where it would have to concede a, quote, limited number of slots to other airlines, from Seoul to Osaka, Sapporo, Nagoya and Fukuoka, and from Busan to Osaka, Sapporo and Fukuoka. About 2 weeks after Japan's approval, the European Commission approved the merger conditional upon full compliance with, quote, the remedies offered by Korean Air. The European Commission had concerns that the transaction would harm competition in the markets for air cargo transport services between Europe and South Korea and passenger air transport services on routes between Seoul and certain European destinations, specifically Barcelona, Paris, Frankfurt and Rome. To address the Commission's competition concerns, Korean Air offered the following remedies. For cargo commitments, the airline will divest Asiana's global cargo freighter business, including freighter aircraft, slots, traffic rights, flight crew and other employees, as well as customer cargo contracts, among others. For passenger operations, Korean Air will, quote, make available to rival airline T-Way the necessary assets to enable it to start flight operations on the 4 overlap routes. Korean Air committed not to complete the merger until T-Way has started operating on the 4 overlap routes. With the green light from the European Commission, the last jurisdiction standing in the way is the United States. US regulators are explicitly against the merger. Indeed, according to a Politico report in May, the Justice Department is considering suing Korean Air to kill its planned acquisition of Asiana Airlines. The concern is that the merger will harm passenger and cargo traffic between South Korea and the United States. We haven't heard too much about the US government's stance since then, but no doubt the airline is working hard behind the scenes to appease American regulators. One final note about the upcoming merger is how it'll impact the fleet. According to a report by Bloomberg in February, the airline was debating whether to retire its A220-300s from its fleet, with no final decision at the time of reporting. Sources familiar with the matter told the publication there is a possibility that Korean Air retains the 10 aircraft, although a spokesperson told Simple Flying that it has no concrete plans. So there's your look at the fleet of Korean Air in mid-2024. No doubt a lot will change for the carrier over the next 5 years with its merger with Asiana and the modern aircraft ordered from both Boeing and Airbus. What do you think of the Korean Air fleet and its future plans? And do you think it made the right call selling some of its 747-8s to Sierra Nevada Corporation? Let us know by leaving a comment. Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.